This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Minister confident that the Hilton closure, the British Colonial closure, will be temporary. The Health Minister speaking about abortion. And in our relationship series, which continues today, we are talking about the questions you need to be asking before you decide to get into a relationship. Do you know them? Have you asked them? We're going to get into that today. It's all straight ahead. I'm Dwight, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Bahamas. It is Wednesday, February 16th, 2022. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strawn. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Also in Morning Blend Business, BTC will be talking with us. They've got some exciting things happening right now, and in the next few days, they'll tell us all about that. And more of what's making business news this morning. That's all straight ahead, but first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping and the top national and international headlines this morning. The overnight, a newly released United Nations Development Program report, UNDP report, concluding that the COVID pandemic, coupled with Hurricane Dorian, dealt a $7.5 billion blow to the GDP of the Bahamas. That report saying that as a result of all of this, social and economic development will likely be inhibited for years to come. The report noting that the governor of the central bank, John Roll, the 2021 Annual Business Outlook Seminar presented the central bank estimates that the economy will not rebound until 2023, whereas the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, forecasted in their staff concluding statement of 2020 Article 4 mission that the GDP of the country will only recover to pre-COVID levels during 2024. It said as many as half of the micro, small, and medium-sized businesses on Abaco and 1 in 10 in Grand Bahama had to close permanently, and that those that remain open, quote, continue to remain vulnerable to the ongoing impact of the prolonged COVID-19 pandemic, and their capacity to recover is in question. The UNDP report is based off a survey with a sample size of 486 responses conducted between November 2020 and February 2021. It noted that over 63% of micro and small businesses were impacted by both Dorian and the pandemic. Although it was set to close indefinitely yesterday, the British Colonial will likely only be closed for about 2 months as it undergoes renovations. That's according to Tourism, Investments and Aviation Minister Chester Cooper. He said its owner, China Construction America, was able to secure the interest of another major international brand to support the work going on at the Bay Street Hotel. He says there will have to be renovations at the property and that the property will close for renovations. He told reporters yesterday that they hope that it'll be a short period of time for the closure and that the staff will be absorbed into the other properties that are owned by CCA. Cooper saying, quote, "We are positive about these outcomes. We look forward to them coming to fruition, but we anticipate that over the course of time, the developers themselves will make an announcement along those lines." Bahamas cannot rush toward getting rid of its COVID restrictions until the challenges in the healthcare facilities are addressed. That's according to Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville, who said that it's going to have to creep before we walk. Some European countries like Sweden and Norway have gotten rid of all COVID restrictions. The Netherlands is poised to follow suit as the United Kingdom considers whether to revoke the law that requires people who test positive to self-isolate. New York and other states in the United States have removed indoor mask mandates and other restrictions as the world enters year 3 of the COVID pandemic. But according to Darville, the government will have to look at the Bahamas' overall COVID situation before deciding to move forward and move toward getting rid of all restrictions. Meanwhile, Minister Darville says the country will receive 32,400 doses of the Pfizer COVID vaccine from the U.S. this week. He says they're due to the vaccines that we have in stock now are due to expire on May 31st. He says they have some more vaccines coming in this week. And that the vaccine will be a bit different as it won't be in a powder form, but will be already mixed. And opposition leader Michael Pintard calling on the government to do more to address growing concerns over increasing food prices due to inflation. The F&M leader said the impact has been apparent at his Marco City constituency office, where lines continue to grow for food assistance. Overseas, Russia saying today it was returning more troops and weapons to bases, but NATO declaring it saw no signs of a drawdown as fears that Moscow could invade Ukraine soon continue to persist. Russia has amassed about 150,000 troops east and south of Ukraine, sparking Western concerns it was planning an attack. Moscow denies it has any such plans, and this week said it was pulling back some forces and weapons, though it gave few details. Those claims have been met with skepticism from the U.S. and its allies, even as they seem to lower the temperature following weeks of escalating east-west tensions. On Wednesday, the Russian Defense Ministry released a video showing a trainload of armored vehicles moving across a bridge away from Crimea, the Black Sea Peninsula that Russia annexed from Ukraine in 2014. A day earlier, the ministry reported the start of a pullback of troops following military exercises near Ukraine. But NATO threw cold water on those statements, saying the military organization does not see any sign that Moscow is decreasing its troops and troop levels in and around Ukraine. Countries in the alliance have also expressed doubt, as have leaders in Ukraine. Caught between Russia and the West, Ukrainian leaders have repeatedly sought to project calm but also strength during the crisis. Meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden has said that he will not fight Russia in Ukraine, nor would America's NATO allies, so a Russian invasion would not automatically trigger a wider war. But if Putin took his offensive beyond Ukraine's borders into NATO territory, the U.S. could possibly get drawn into it. That's because of the Washington being obliged by the NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty, to defend its allies, some of whom fear they are Russian targets. And the number of new coronavirus cases globally fell by 19% in the last week, while the number of deaths remained stable, according to the latest info from the World Health Organization. The UN Health Agency saying late Tuesday in its weekly report on the pandemic that just over 16 million new COVID infections and about 75,000 deaths were reported worldwide last week. The Western Pacific was the only region to report a rise in new weekly cases, an increase of about 19%. Southeast Asia reported a decrease of about 37%, the biggest drop globally. The number of deaths rose by 38% in the Middle East and by about 1/3 in the Western Pacific. The biggest number of new COVID cases was seen in Russia. Cases there and elsewhere in Eastern Europe doubled in recent weeks, driven by a surge of the hugely infectious Omicron variant. WHO saying that all other coronavirus variants, including Alpha, Beta, and Delta, continue to decline globally as Omicron crowds them out. Among the more than 400,000 COVID virus sequences uploaded to the world's biggest virus database in the last week, more than 98% were Omicron. Meanwhile, the WHO says that the BA.2 version of Omicron appears to be steadily increasing as its prevalence has risen in South Africa, Denmark, and the UK and other countries. Health officials have noted, though, that the Omicron variant causes milder disease than previous COVID variants, and in countries with high vaccination rates, hospitalization and death rates have not increased substantially, even with Omicron's spread. Collegiate swimmer Devontae Carey closing out his school's conference championships with the personal best in the 200-yard backstroke. This was on Saturday. He's the first Bahamian to see action in the NCAA conference championships. Other Bahamian swimmers are preparing to swim later this week and next week. Carey swimming at the NCAA Division II Great Lakes Valley Conference Championships. In Indiana, his team, McKendree University Bearcats, placing third out of 10 teams, secured 10 gold, 3 silver, and 3 bronze medals. Carey again with 4 personal best times and 2 relay conference records at those championships. More on this in today's Guardian Sports section. And plans are well underway for the staging of the 2022 Carifta Swimming, Water Polo, and Artistic Swimming and Open Water Championships slated for April 8th through 20th in Barbados. Although Barbados currently allows both vaccinated and unvaccinated visitors, Bahamas Aquatics Federation President Algernon Cargill says that his federation is only taking vaccinated swimmers and water polo players who are eligible to be vaccinated. Cargill says that he has been in touch with the Barbados Aquatic Sports Association, the host body for Carifta, and they have assured that everything is on track for them hosting the championships. Read more about that in today's Guardian Sports section as well. And tributes continue to pour in for Jeff Albury, the late Jeff Albury, the governing body of the sport of baseball in the country, the Bahamas Baseball Association, saluting Jeff Albury, recognizing all the work that he's done in 3 decades towards developing thousands of young men and women. Albury passed away at his home on Sunday, less than a week after reaching his 74th birthday, just a few days before the postponed start of the 2022 Junior Baseball League of Nassau, the JBLN, regular season. That season opens today. Albury was a part of JBLN for 30 years, spending time as a player, coach, umpire, and a league administrator. He was into his 28th year as commissioner of the league up until his passing. You can read more about the tributes in today's Guardian Sports section. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your first look at weather for today, a stationary front is weakening across the southeast Bahamas, while strong high pressure supporting strong winds and hazardous sea conditions throughout the archipelago. Beachgoers should stay out of the water due to rough surf and possible dangerous rip currents. And small craft operators are urged to remain in or near port today. Residents in Eleuthera should exercise caution while crossing the Glass Window Bridge. For all areas today, your forecast calls for partly to mostly cloudy, cool, and windy conditions with quick passing showers through. For boaters, small craft advisory remains in effect. Winds easterly at 20 to 25 knots with higher gusts. Seas 5 to 8 feet, but building up to 12 feet in easterly swells. Temperature-wise today, it is windy, cloudy, and about 73 degrees right now in Nassau. We're looking at highs getting up to around 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 63 Fahrenheit, 17 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your number one store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Drive happy with free fuel for a year with CIBC First Caribbean and Esso. Use your CIBC First Caribbean Visa debit or credit card to fuel up with $25 or over at any participating Esso service station, and you are automatically entered for a chance to win the grand prize and weekly prizes of $200 in fuel or cash. Offer runs until March 20th, 2022. Terms and conditions apply. Visit CIBCFCIB.com for more details. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license.
This is Guardian Radio 96 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on Guardio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC 422-4796. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Chester Robards. Good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
Great to have you with us as always.
Glad to be here.
Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great week.
Yep, man, going good.
Wonderful, wonderful stuff. All right, folks, we'll give you the phone numbers to call in just a bit. Again, you can tweet us at morningblend969 or facebook.com/morningblend969. And text us on the Guardian Radio text line. Coming up this morning, more weather, traffic, and late o'clock hour, going to be kicking off today's installment of Relationship Week. It is the third one for the week. Today, we're looking at the questions, the discussions, the things you need to be talking about before you get into a relationship. And we know that's challenging here because if you go on one date, I think you're already engaged in this country, right? Pretty much.
Really?
No? Okay. But we'll talk about that. Some things that people find out about the person they're with many years into it. And like, wow, I wish I'd known that before. But okay. So I'll give you some tips this morning. Things that you should probably put out there and ask before you say, okay, this is where I'm going to go. That's coming up this morning. And then later in Morning Blend Business, we are talking with BTC. They've got a number of things going on. They'll tell us about that. And we'll have more of what's making business news that coming up in our 9 o'clock hour. So a lot to get to, but let's begin with what's in the news. News, big headline in the NASA Guardian today, $7.5 billion hit to GDP from Dorian and COVID. This is coming from a newly released report from the UNDP, the United Nations Development Program, that said that the pandemic, coupled with Dorian, dealt a $7.5 billion blow to the GDP of the Bahamas. And it also said that as a result of social and economic development, social and economic development will likely be inhibited for years to come. So, okay. So, hey, that we need reports and stuff of that, but this is like Captain Obvious then releasing a statement. Okay. You got to document the things, I'm sure.
You got to let it be known, yeah.
Yeah. Someone has to write it down. But, okay, some will say only 7.5. Okay, sure. But yes, you need to read this and see what's being said there. People know this. Everybody here knows. Maybe the world needs to see it and act accordingly, although I doubt they'll care much. But it talks about the impact of businesses there and the MSMEs and how many have not recovered, how many had to close permanently, and how the future looks very shaky for so many. This is again based on a survey, a sample of 486 responses conducted between November 2020 and February 2021. Noting that over 63% of micro and small businesses were impacted by both Dorian and the pandemic. And, quote, when asked about whether the business has been able to remain open with the impact of the storm and pandemic, 185 businesses indicated that they have been able to remain at least partially. It's about 41.6%. But about 30.5% declared that they were temporarily closed, and almost 28% permanently closed. The report said that MSMEs on Grand Bahama were better positioned to restart in 2020 due to having a stronger local customer community. So it's very interesting things there. There is a portion here about corruption. The report noted that 17% of MSMEs surveyed in Grand Bahama and Abaco reported paying extra or tipping for public services. Now, is this related to Dorian and COVID or just how they function every day? Okay. The report said, quote, the Transparency International 2018 Global Corruption Barometer study of the region found that 41% of Bahamians some level of bribe to ensure they could access public services. So this is just in general. Mm-hmm. Therefore, it's notable that 78.2% of MSME survey respondents in Grand Bahama and Abaco indicated not having experiences of paying or tipping a civil servant to have publicly available services rendered. Let's read that again. Therefore, it is notable that 78% of MSME survey respondents in Grand Bahama and Abaco indicated not having experiences of paying or tipping a civil servant to have publicly available services rendered. Oh, so
this is only rampant in
New Providence.
New Providence?
Well, I could believe that.
What do they mean during this?
Maybe. Could it be people had a heart? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, is that why they brought it up?
It's very odd. Of the 17% who did report tipping, 4.8% said they did it one time, 9.5% said they did it sometimes, and 3.6% reported they did it often. So it's just Nassau is the sewer of, okay, all right. Well, I guess people might be thinking you can get more out of the people in Nassau. And suggest that perhaps it's a little, or maybe because it's so many people, you feel that you need to jump the line, or I have no idea. Okay.
I don't know. It's strange.
Well, the UNDP noted that several non-governmental organizations that provided support in COVID reported that there may be significant overlap in their efforts and minimal opportunity to ensure that the available resources were dispersed inclusively and with equity, and that as such, better cooperation and coordination among government, MSMEs, the institutional partners, and NGOs that are working to support MSMEs can support planning and implementation of programming to be more strategic in post-Dorian and COVID-19 recovery. It also noted that the government and its partners may benefit from a comprehensive assessment of the impact achieved during these dual crises. Okay, well, everyone's been saying that for long before these events happened. But yes, maybe, again, whenever we have international groups highlighting our issues, people seem to want to respond and do something. So maybe that'll do it. But hey. So it's an interesting read. Pick up a copy of The Guardian today to read more about that. Comment, you can call us 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right. The other big story, what's happening at the British Colonial Hilton. Yesterday was said to be its final day as a Hilton. And as a result, the property, the British Colonial, was supposed to close down. And I believe that did indeed happen. But it may only be a temporary closure, as according to the tourism minister, a partner has been found. Take a listen to this report from our Jasmine Brown.
The Deputy Prime Minister telling the press that the owners, China Construction America, is making the Bay Street Hotel.
Developers of the Hilton have been able to interest in other major international brand fly to support the property.
Cooper declined to reveal more about the interested hotel brand, saying he did not want to make any announcements on CCA's behalf. However, he did say this.
We've spoken with them at the very highest levels. Myself, along with the Prime Minister, have spoken with the chairman and the executive of CCA, the owners of the Hilton. They are committed to the Bahamas. they're committed to the property at number 1 Bay Street, and certainly they are committed to their other developments next door. So we are optimistic about the future, and we look forward to the further enhancement of Bay Street.
The 100-plus room hotel was announced last month. Strategic Property Holdings, which manages the property, in a letter to the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union, said the decision to cease operations came after carefully analyzing business performance over an extensive period of time and the dismal business forecast for the foreseeable future. More than 100 employees were impacted, but some have since been hired by Sandals, which reopened its New Providence property last month. Cooper says he believes some of those workers will be retained at other properties owned by CCA.
There has to be some renovations to the property. We are advised that the property will close for renovations. We hope that this will be a short period of time. We hope that the staff will be absorbed into the other properties that's owned by CCA, the same developer that owns. So we are positive about these outcomes. We look forward to them coming to fruition.
The British Colonial Hilton was one of the country's oldest hotels, still in operation. It opened in 1924 and was at one point the flagship property in the country. Reporting for Guardian News Network, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Okay. Hey, yeah, this is good news. Hopefully it won't take long, the closure, but it's encouraging. It is a beautiful property, despite its age. It is beautiful, and I'm sure marketed in the right way, this could still be a thriving hotel. I just got a little pet peeve, but we got it right. The name of the hotel is British Colonial. British Colonial, everybody. I know it's easy to keep saying Hilton, but it's no longer obviously a Hilton at all. But it's, you remember, do you remember this, Chester? When I was a kid, it was a Sheraton, British Colonial, and 4 years after it was no longer Sheraton, just kept calling it Sheraton. Your mind will do that, and I'm sure that's going to happen for years to come. It's going to be known as Hilton.
I didn't remember it was a Sheraton.
Oh, you don't remember that? Yeah, it was a Sheraton for a long time. And it was so strange because we had two Sheratons at the same time. Sheraton, British Colonial, and then the Sheraton Grand on Paradise Island. Like, why do we need two Sheratons? You could almost walk to the other one. Anyway, but yeah.
It's not like a fast food restaurant. It's almost like a whole different locale.
Okay. Sure. And now we have no Sheratons. But, so fine.
You want a Sheraton?
Well, it's a nice hotel. No, you don't like the Sheraton?
You mean it's a nice brand?
Yeah. Nice brand. No? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But hey, British Colonial. That's encouraging. It'd be good to know who it is.
Maybe it's Sheraton.
No.
Maybe they're back.
That would be something. We missed them. Yeah, we're back. All right. What do you make of it, folks? What do you have to say? Let's talk. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. You remember what it was, Best Western?
What was the Best Western?
I think it was the Best Western, wasn't it? After the Sheraton.
British Colonial?
Mm-hmm. No? Am I dreaming this, folks? What was it? After the Sheraton, it was, I'm pretty sure it was. Let me know. What was it? After
the Sheraton, it was just British Colonial.
No.
It always had a brand attached to it?
Most times. Since the Sheraton thing. And then it was closed for a long time. I'm sure it was Best Western.
Best Western.
Text us. Let us know. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Blend.
Hi, good morning.
You see the same experience you're having trying to remember Sheraton, British Colonial, Hilton. The ideal thing would have been to insist.
What? It was never that.
No, but I'm saying now, listen to me. The ideal thing should have been to insist that the purchasers keep those three names, because I remember one, and I would go to that one, and that's where we just screw it up. But your report.
So that's what you say? You say Sheraton, British Colonial, Hilton?
No, I said that should have been the ideal trademark name that was purchased. So I'm going to Sheraton, British Colonial, Hilton, meaning if I only knew of Sheraton, I got that one. If I only knew, you follow me? I got that. So market the 3. That's what they should have done. So I'm finished with that. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
Good. Now,
try it.
You mentioned the 4 C's: climate, COVID, conflict, corruption. We don't seem to have a climate problem. We're getting rid of the COVID problem. We don't have the war that's going on with Ukraine, but we got a big problem with corruption. Because I'm sure many of us falsify our declarations, the airport. We are corrupt. And for us to get rid of this, we have to become uncorrupt collectively. And that's the only way out. You agree?
Well, how do you suggest we do it?
How? Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, we continuously elect seesaw back and forth, tit-for-tat governments. Stop that. All right? We continue to worship persons we don't even know. Stop that. I follow my mother, period. I can never go wrong with that because I have a history in me. I don't know anybody else's that was given to me by the British or whoever else. Follow your past because your past is your future. We forget that. Even though you may put it in the back of you, that's future. You forget that, you can't go forward. So we just keep going back and forth. Stop it. And we get corrupt. It's easy to be corrupt if you head back and forth. Agree? Because you remembered it. Yes, you did. And you improve on it in the future. That's what we're doing, recycling corruption. We got to quit that.
I mean, a case could be made that it's contributing, perhaps.
Well, but in the Bahamas, it's solid. We don't have climate problem. These are the 4 C's you mentioned, in your report earlier. We don't have the COVID problem. We ain't got no wars. But boy, we got corruption. And we've been recycling legal corruption. Guys who make laws to break laws. Think about it.
Okay. All right. I hear you. Thanks a lot. Well, some would say that we do have a kind of war here. Yeah, someone says it was Best Western. Yeah, I remember that. Yes, it was Best Western. Absolutely. I remember that. After the Sheraton was the Best Western, and then it was closed for very long. And then the renovations were going on forever. It was like, this will never be finished. And then it became a Hilton. But yeah, okay. Boy, oh boy. Something he said.
Corruption, conflict.
Right. The conflict. We've got conflict here. It may not be a war per se, but as people have pointed out, the murder rate in this country is well into conflict. The conflict zone for the deaths per capita. It would seem like
we were designated a conflict.
We're still in that. We're supposed to, for our population, have unfortunately fewer than 40, around 30 murders per year. Please, when was the last time that happened? Very, very sad. So yeah, we got all 4. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
God, it is the Strachan voice along with you and Chester, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Justice not all in this country. Dwight, the Sheraton, British Colonial used to call the Point at one time. Now,
when was that?
Recently.
Well, that's not the same place. The Point is next door.
Next door?
Mm-hmm.
All is one.
Okay.
Dwight, what I want to say, right? I suppose that, I have several points to make according to your subjects, right? Do you suppose the people, this new owner decided, at least it's still the Chinese, to keep the hotel because of the underground passage that lead from the Sheraton, British Colonial?
To where?
I think say it again?
You said leads from there to where?
To the fort.
Oh.
The Western Fort.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's the reason. Okay? I believe recently they found that out.
What are they going to do with it?
Say it again?
What are they going to do with it?
Well, you can do a lot of things with underground. You can do a lot of illegal stuff when you have underground passage. A lot of things.
Okay, what's your next point?
My other point is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that knowing that our people here in the Bahamas, most of them, could hardly shouldn't be taking our money. The governments shouldn't be taking our money on marketing those conglomerates, like those
And
hotels.
you say it's most of the people here can't buy food? That's what you said? Most?
Not decent food.
Oh.
Not decent food.
Uh-huh.
Okay. My other point is, right, I think that the Minister of Health, right, he should get some psychologists and some psychiatrists on to speak of this this bunch of abortions that are happening in the country, because you never know the mind of those people that have done those things. You see what I'm saying? That could be contributing mature living in this country also. Okay?
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I think I am. Am I sitting on a taser? I mean, I feel like every time after I feel like I'm stunned every few minutes on the show. I don't know what's happening.
I gotta say, if there is a tunnel, it must be a very wet tunnel.
What? Oh,
I'm just saying if it exists.
If it's under and it's held up, I mean, that's gonna be okay. Wow. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
I'm Chester.
Morning.
Hey guys, y'all know the properties are very historical. Well, Sheraton, British Colonial sets.
British Colonial, yeah, British Colonial. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and most payments you could ask them very Fort now first, and they can't tell you even if they standing right in the front of it, right? Mm-hmm. But what I'm trying to say is, the hotels never depict the land that is sitting on, because it represents part of Nassau, and you never see no depiction of the old Fort Nassau being highlighted or depicted nowhere inside the hotel from its inception, because like you say, it's Sheraton, British Colonial.
Well, British Colonial. Mm-hmm.
Right. So, I think we just need they need to do a little bit more with put more. I mean, if you know what I'm trying to say, right? The whole area is a historic area from Fort Nassau straight around the where they have the Pompeii Museum and all that is a historical area right there, but it seems to be slowly robbed out of its real essence and true historical value. Guys, have a nice day.
Okay, all right. Well, remember, it's situated on the old Fort Nassau. The folks who, when they built this hotel, that was already gone, and the folks back then didn't see any need, unfortunately, to make that a tourist attraction or anything. So perhaps, unfortunately, the site has sailed. I believe that ship has sailed. Is there a monument there? I think there's a plaque or something, right?
They have some remnants of what used to be there.
But it's hey, folks weren't thinking like that back then.
No.
That was demolished in the 1800s, I think, 1890s. So, yeah. Okay. Let's read a few of your messages before we get on. One of our callers mentioned the next topic we want to get to in a bit, but let's read these. There's a warning about a broken down car near San Souci backing up traffic. So if you're in that area, keep that in mind. Yeah, okay. The PLP is basking in the former administration's success. The DPM and Financial Secretary admitted that some are still traumatized by the hurt and fallout from the pandemic. Minnis was PM, and he was seen as a villain. The PLP pandered to people's hurt and base emotions in their weakest hour. Okay. It's politics. It's politics. This one says here, these leaders need to create more economic activities and stop depending on tourism. There There are thousands of industries the Bahamas can profit from. The avocado story that's in the news, it's now a $6 billion industry. The Bahamas needs to get into the industry on a massive scale, and everyone knows our avocados are the best in the world. That's one industry.
No lie.
All right. Well, I mean, so you want the government to do it? I mean, you get into it, right? No? Start. Because what do you want? Do you want the government to say we're all going to be avocado farmers and just declare it? That's our number one industry. Everybody going to have classes and schools open. I mean, what? I'm just asking. What are you thinking? Okay. Happy Wednesday, Dwight and Chester. I don't trust the owners of that hotel. Well, if they're the same people who bought the hotel in Grand Bahama, that's still closed. They're not the same people who used to have the hotel. No, they're not. And okay, so they're not. Right. Another one. That will always be the British Colonial Hotel to me, and it is. Yes, it is the British Colonial. My grandfather worked on the construction of that hotel. Oh, wow. Okay. Great stuff. And other people saying, yes, Best Western. It was Best Western, sure. Another one, they renovated it. In the lobby, there was a small, the lobby was very small. Back then, it was popped down. I was saying when it was a Best Western. Yeah, I mean, it was built in the early 1900s, so things were very different. People didn't need some of the lavish accommodations we require today. And another text here. Please send a message to this New Day government that they need to do the people's work. The government's priorities are not in line with the people's. Please tell the Minister of Education, BTVI teachers and staff want established career paths and salary scales, just like every other government organization. Please and thanks. Okay. Before we take a break, so I'm looking through the paper today, and it's just amazing to me how we do things. One of the callers mentioned it, right? This 5-year period that we do. 5 years you're in, 5 years you're out, 5 years you're back. I'm looking through, and there was orientation of the National Training Agency, and I love Agatha Barcel. She's wonderful, but she's back as executive chairman of the National Training Agency. How are we? I mean, that's wonderful, but how are we living? Why are we like this? Does this make sense?
Yeah.
You're there. You're kicked out when the other people come. They put you
Isn't
back.
it nice to have a job every other 5 years? I'd like that every other 5 years.
This is madness now, folks. This is madness, though. I mean, can you imagine the people who are not up there? They're just like the worker bees. And you sit back and you watch this. Okay, so you're my boss for 5 years. And then likely the last boss will be back. And then I got to work with him or her for 5 years. Does he like coffee or is it tea? No, that's the new boss. I can't remember. And then you're gone again. And then the other one's back. Oh, look at you. You got some gray hair now. Hey, okay. But you lost a lot of weight. Yeah. And then by the end of 5 years, boss, you need to lose some weight because you really, but then you're gone and you lose the weight again. And this is, Are we going to get anywhere like this?
I think we've answered that question for a long time.
But we keep doing it, though.
Because some people don't like us getting anywhere.
But again, wonderful to see Agatha Marcel back. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll get into the abortion issue that the Minister of Health is speaking about in an interesting way. Another international group saying that we need to address this once and for all. We'll get into that. This is Morning Blend on a Wednesday morning here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
AP News, I'm Jackie Quinn. The leader of NATO is calling on Russia to provide proof to back up its claims that it's pulling troops away from Ukraine's border in an effort to seek a diplomatic standoff.
We are ready to sit down and discuss with them, but at the same time, we are prepared for the worst.
More from our Mike Gracia in Washington.
The Russian military said it had pulled back some troops near Ukraine. In Washington, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki.
It would be positive if it was verified that they pulled back their troops. And certainly the openness to diplomacy is something that everybody should support.
President Joe Biden cautioned,
if Russia proceeds, we will rally the world to oppose its aggression.
The U.S. and NATO continue to warn Russia could invade at any time. Mike Gracia, Washington.
A huge fire is burning on Long Island, New York this morning. Authorities say a tanker carrying gasoline lost control and crashed into a vacant showroom at the Rockville Center. One building's collapsed. Several firefighters are reported injured. Former Minneapolis police officer Tu Tao has testified his role during the arrest was only to control traffic and onlookers. He says he was relying on fellow officers to attend to Floyd's medical needs. Tao and 2 others are being tried in federal court on charges of violating Floyd's constitutional rights during the arrest that ended in his death. The CDC reports a new study finds newborns whose mothers were vaccinated against COVID-19 during pregnancy have continued protection even after they're born. America wins gold in Olympic skiing. Correspondent Denny Kopp.
The United States goes 1-2 in the men's free ski slopestyle. Alex Hall takes home the gold, scoring a 90.01 by landing a rare right dub 10 Pretz 1 on the final trick. Indiana's Nick Gepper earns the silver.
This is AP News. The legal battle over former President Trump's business practices could come to a head tomorrow in court.
New York Attorney General Letitia James will be in a Manhattan court, calling for the judge to order Trump to testify about what she says is evidence of using fraudulent or misleading valuations of golf clubs, skyscrapers, and other loans and tax benefits. Trump, in a lengthy statement Tuesday evening, says the Mazars accounting firm dropped him because it faced vicious intimidation tactics from authorities investigating him. Trump also claimed that his net worth is approximately $8 billion to $9 billion. I'm Tim McGuire.
President Biden is hailing the $73 million settlement between Remington Arms and the families of 9 victims of the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre. He calls it historic, holding gun manufacturers accountable for manufacturing weapons of war. I'm Jackie Quinn, AP News.
To the time for another check of your traffic, or your first look at traffic for this morning, actually. Brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. A reminder about the weather conditions impacting the Glass Window Bridge. Motorists and pedestrians being urged to be very cautious along the Glass Window Bridge today as a result of what we're seeing outside. In your real-time traffic in New Providence, we've got heavy traffic on Mile Butler Highway from Fire Trail all the way up to Tonic-Williams-Darling Highway. That's in the northbound lanes. Gladstone Road looking a lot better for you, but still busy in the northbound lane to JFK Drive. Building traffic on Carmichael Road eastbound to Blue Hill Road, and we're seeing pockets along Blue Hill Road near St. Vincent Road, near Carmichael, and north of Soldier Road as you approach Independence Drive in the northbound lanes there. Independence Drive building traffic westbound to that roundabout with Blue Hill Road as well. East Street between East-West Highway, Independence Drive roundabout, and Soldier Road intersection. Heavy traffic there in the northbound lanes, and even south of that intersection, you'll be seeing that there in the northbound lanes. Windsor Place and Soldier Road, the traffic is building there. And Old Trail Road and Robinson Road, you're going to see some congestion in that area. And along the intersections of Prince Charles and Robinson Road, you'll be seeing heavy traffic as well. Got a report of a broken down vehicle near San Souci Road, and that's causing some early backups there. And we do expect Eastern Road to be congested momentarily, and this won't help if it's still there. So keep that in mind if you're in that area. That's what we're looking at so far. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. Banking reimagined. Your weather for today, we've got a stationary front that's weakening across the southeast Bahamas, while strong high pressure supporting strong winds and hazardous sea conditions throughout the Arctic. Stay out of the water due to rough surf and possible dangerous rip currents. And small craft operators are urged to remain in or near port today. For all areas, we're looking at mostly cloudy, cool, and windy conditions with quick passing showers through tonight. Small craft advisory remains in effect. Temperatures getting up to around 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 63 Fahrenheit, 17 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure will dominate weather across the country as it slowly weakens through Friday night. Ahead of that, for Thursday tomorrow, partly cloudy, mild, and breezy with passing showers, becoming fair, breezy, and cool with a passing shower by evening. Friday, partly mostly sunny, warm, and windy with a quick passing shower. That's your morning blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Wherever you are, for all your banking needs, we make it easy. CIBC, First Caribbean, we've got all your banking solutions. CIBC, First Caribbean.
Good day, Airborne Freight and Cargo Services. How may I help you today?
Hey, listen, I just heard about you all, man.
Yes, sir. How may I help you, sir?
I hear you all giving out free things. And I's a mom with 12 children. I love free things.
Well, yes, sir. If you're ordering with Airborne Freight and Cargo Services for the first time, we will be giving you prizes just for shipping with us.
Hold on, wait. What all y'all giving out so?
Well, we're giving away gas vouchers, coupons from various outlets, up to 20% off your shipping fee, and so much more.
Could y'all please stop slamming my door? None of y'all pay no bills inside you. Sorry about that, Mom. Hey, y'all is ship double shoulders, cause this woman expecting twins again, Dread.
Airborne Freight and Cargo Services. Get rewarded for being a new customer on top of our already low rates. Call us at 37704 Ship Airborne for more information.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. Coming up in a few minutes, Relationship Week continues. Today we're talking about the questions you need to be asking before you get into a relationship, or questions you should have asked before you got into one. That's coming up. But we continue talking about what's in the news right now. We go through some of your messages before we get to our other hot topic. This person says here, nobody cares about the British Colonial Hotel. We need to look at other avenues. This tourism thing is getting old. Find other ways. Stop being a lazy government. Okay. Well, I would say to you, Texter, that the way we do tourism is lazy. Absolutely. We are taking advantage of many, many, many opportunities within tourism. We are doing it in the most lazy way you can imagine. So,
but the government don't own the hotel.
No, and but we do need better strategies within tourism. And like I said to the avocado texter, you've got to, in that way, if you feel that there's something there, you got to do this. You've got to start, and you might encourage others, and then the government will. They don't. They're not thinking like that. They don't. They often don't. But you start, and then they may say, okay, we'll incentivize farmers, and there you go, and on and on and on. But you can't wait for them. They're not going to see it. They're not going to see it. But you've got to be the change you want to see.
What would you be waiting on them to do?
I don't know.
Plant the seeds?
Give you a big old avocado seed. Yeah. Say, here you go. Everyone gets an avocado seed. Start your farms. All right.
I mean, you could already get a plot of land for farming. Okay, that's there already. What else do you need? An aqueduct.
Underground tunnel. Another one says here, the PLP and F&M elites take Bahamians for dummies because they know that they can be corrupt, but the conks will still vote them in again. They take us for fools. Bahamians, wake up, okay? Dwight, you are the issue. Because when we try to put some 10-pound words on them, you censor us and say that's not nice. You want them to change with platitudes, but they never will. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying don't say the 10-pound words on Guardian Radio. Yeah, fine. Do that. Do that. But all they hear when you see them is, oh, minister, come over here, please. Right? That's all they hear. But you want to come on the radio, hide behind a mic or a text and say all these things and get us in trouble. But when you see them, you're all like, I voted for you. Give me a job. No. Tell them that then. Yeah.
I voted for you. Give me an avocado seed.
Right. Or I think they'd say, give me the whole farm already with the trees on it.
The tree, yeah.
Yeah, because they don't have the time to do all that. All right. So another serious issue, a caller mentioned it, and I already see text messages about this. The Minister of Health was asked about abortions in the Bahamas, a very complicated, controversial, sensitive issue, apparently, here. Take a listen to what he report from our media partners at Our News and Christina Dragovich.
Well, Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darville, addressing questions on abortion today after the country's CEDAW representative said the establishment of a gender-based violence authority, the criminalization of marital rape, and the decriminalization of abortion need to be prioritized. Dr. Darville says there have been discussions on the issue of abortion, but there has been no finalized position.
We are aware of the challenges as a result of violence against women. We are aware of the challenges of abortions. All of these things are issues that affect our society, and the Davis administration intend to confront these issues. But at this particular time, I cannot indicate what the cabinet's position is on it, but there has been some discussion.
The United Nations Committee on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women has recommended the decriminalization of abortion in all cases and the legalization of abortion in cases of rape, incest, and severe fetal impairment. As a physician, Dr. Darville says his personal views on abortion are complex.
There's many different areas where tough decisions need to be made, but me personally, I withhold my position at this particular time because I do have strong positions. And when we come together as a cabinet and finalize the positions, everyone will have to do it based on their own conscience.
Windy conditions to continue tonight. Meteorologist
support there when they come together as a cabinet. All right, let's get your views on that, folks. In many places, not most, many places, this is a hot debate issue for countries where they do debates, right? And so the position of the people you're voting for, generally. Of course, this is not something, well, as you saw here, most of our candidates don't want to take part in debates, so you never know. But then they're going to decide amongst themselves in cabinet. Is that what we're hearing there? So let's talk about it, though. What do you make of that? What do you make of what he's saying? What do you make of abortion in general? And clearly we need to do a full show on this. But as the caller was saying earlier, I mean, we've got a technically illegal. And so that says a lot. But let's get your views. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. This text here, this is to the previous caller. He has a point. Abortions are far too common. If you can kill a child for absolutely no reason and barely feel anything, you can kill anyone, any age, for any silly reason. Probably have a lot of psychopaths around this place. Are we talking about the doctors here, or who are you talking about now? I don't understand. What are you saying, Texter? Are you talking about the mothers? Really? Oh, okay. Huh. Wow. This text here, there should be no problem with the government legalizing abortion. Members of parliament have aided and abetted each other with aborting baby dreams for decades now. Come on now, folks. This is a serious matter. This is a This is a serious issue. Come on. Although you're right. But this is a serious issue. Come on. Chester, what say you on this?
I'm not really about the abortion life.
Okay. Well, I want to get our guest in on this.
Are you trying to put me in on
Yeah,
this?
yeah, I know. You're coming up next, Dr. E, but what say you on this issue here? Dr. Edrika Richardson, who's our guest for our next segment.
He catch you. You shouldn't have come on so early.
Strongly, so I can see the reactions, and so we've got to get you.
That's what I get for being on time, Chester. That's what I get.
Yeah, you're right.
I think it is a very complicated and complex issue, and I do think it really. I don't know if there's a one size fits all explanation to it, because if you've dealt with cases been abused or even raped and it resulted in a pregnancy, having clients on both ends of the spectrum, being the client of the child of a rape and versus the victim, and that is one issue with it. Then you have kids who have severe health needs that probably could have been avoided because the fetus wasn't developing normally through normal development. And then you have those people, for other reasons, they decide to do it. We're in an economic crisis, but I can say that, since I've been growing up here, that's always been happening. I know, places to go where.
You're right. Everyone knows where to go.
And
everyone knows where to go.
send you to certain doctors, so it's not like they don't know. So maybe it's a conversation we just need to put on the table as to, are we going to let our moral laws or our health laws or governmental laws, which laws run the country?
Yeah. Great questions there.
I saw a story of a young girl who is suing her doctor for letting her live. Ooh. She's severely debilitated, and they knew about it from she was in the womb. And she was saying that the doctor should have recommended that she be aborted.
Oh, wow.
And now she's suing because, this is a lifelong debilitation. She's got, to live on tubes and stuff. And so that's crazy.
Where is this happening? Where was this?
And I think it was in the UK. I saw that story.
My goodness. Wow. I want to hear from you really quickly, folks. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Yeah, okay, that's already read that. This is about the government. Okay. Yeah. Well, we're going to have to do a full show on this and get your views on it, get different views on it. I think you raised some great points, Dr. E. I don't think we're looking at this in a very shallow way. Some people are not thinking about all the issues that are the health issues that are often in play. And just some people know that they're not going to be able to provide the quality of life that this child will deserve. And yes, you can say, well, there's always adoption, giving up the child for adoption, but
have we looked into that system at any time soon?
That's a challenged system here in many ways. Yeah. So, boy. All right. So more on that to come. And come back, we're going to talk with Dr. E about relationships as Relationship Week resumes today, looking at the questions you need to ask before you get into a relationship, or that you should have asked. That's coming up after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
I never kissed a mouth that tastes like yours. Strawberries and something more. Ooh, yeah, I want it all. Lipstick on my guitar. Fidelity, we're good for you.
We believe in relationship banking. We take pride in getting to know our clients. You have access to knowledgeable, approachable ambassadors and financial coaches so that we can recommend the best product for you. At Fidelity, we care about you. For health, we can relate to you because we're just like you. Come and start your relationship banking experience with us today. Visit us online at fidelitygroup.com. Visit any of our branches in Nassau or Grand Bahama, or phone 356-7764 in Nassau, or 352-6676 for Freeport.
Speed doesn't come easy. It takes your investment in your goals, your time, your full effort, full dedication. And when you think you've done enough, do it again. It takes precision, not just doing it, but doing it as best as possible. Day in, day out. And just like BTC, I will stop at nothing to make the people of the Bahamas stand up and cheer. That's what fuels me and why I'm a proud ambassador of BTC. Because we share a common desire to elevate your internet experience so you elevate everything you do with it and make it the best it can be. Switch to BTC Superfast Internet and elevate.
Better mornings. How? Start your mornings the best way with our 2 for $6 breakfast sandwiches at Wendy's. For a limited time, choose any 2 of your favorite breakfast sandwiches, including the fresh Strachan sack muffin, honey buttermilk chicken biscuit, double sausage muffin, or the sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Wash it all down with our cold brew shake or coffee. Better mornings always start at Wendy's. Wendy's, different inside and out. Excludes airport locations.
Whenever you want, wherever you are. For all your banking needs, we make it easy. CIBC, First Caribbean, we've got all your banking solutions. CIBC, First Caribbean. CIBC, First Caribbean.
Vizio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Hey, yeah. Oh, I really wanna talk to you.
Relationship Week on Morning Blend. Brought to you by Skin Solutions Day Spa and Salon, Lyford Hills, and Airborne Freight and Cargo Services. We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Chester Robards. It is Relationship Week.
Relationship Week.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I see why they didn't give you a night show, Dwight.
Oh, I don't understand what you're saying. But okay. Today, Dr. E, do you understand what he's saying? I don't get it.
No, Chester's being petty this morning. I love it.
Today we're talking about the questions you need to ask before you get into a relationship. And some people realize these things months, years into it. Like, why didn't I know this? And Dr. E is going to guide us through this. Well, I mean, this all goes back before we get into it to communication, right, Dr. E? I'm sure that's what you're going to say there.
It does come down to communication, but it comes also first to the fact that we get so excited at the beginning of a relationship. And, you know, we have that adrenaline rushing, that high of being with the person who makes us feel good, that we don't ask a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. And we go sometimes along in this relationship for months and realize, oh, I don't actually know like the person's middle names. And those are relevant to saying you're in a relationship with somebody else.
By then, you're already engaged, though.
Some engaged, pregnant, married, all of the above. So these are big deal questions that people should really think through. And here's the first one. What do you want? I think that's the most simple one, but a lot of people stumble at that question. The idea that what do you want from this relationship? What do you want from any relationship in general? What are you looking for? I had a client, I asked a client that yesterday, and I asked them to describe it for me, and they stumbled, and I said, but you told me you want to get in a relationship. So, but what is it that you're saying that you want? Because if you don't know what you want, I do believe a lot in energy, so you're going to attract what's going on in your thoughts. So ask yourself and really write down, what do you want from a relationship? Do you want to be in a monogamous relationship? Do you want to be in a poly relationship? Do you want to just date?
Poly relationship. No one's going to say, okay, that sounds cool.
According to my married client yesterday, it works for their marriage. So, what goes. So but that is a very important question you should start with. Another important question I think a lot of people should have a conversation about is, what is your relationship with money? Should be a huge question, especially if you're thinking long-term with this person and getting to maybe a point of marriage or even living together. A lot of people haven't questioned or even asked themselves, what is their relationship with money? And that has so many factors. It could speak to how long or how much a person works. It could speak to their ability to invest and think about a future. Maybe they have some poor habits like overspending, or a lot of people don't even know how to budget, because we don't teach that in school. And so that is an important thing.
How early should you ask like how much debt you have? When should you know this stuff? Because you might be attaching yourself into something very dangerous.
Well, if you're thinking about getting into a serious relationship with a person, these should be the questions you should think about. So I'm talking now, you finished dating, and dating means you're dating people so that you figure out who's the one person you want to exclusively date. And now you're into an exclusive relationship with this person, and you guys are planning for a future. You're not yet engaged, but you're planning for a future, and you're getting to that point. Right, Chester? I know you asked these questions.
Absolutely.
So that's another question. What are your plans for the future? That's an important question to look at. We're looking 6 months ahead, maybe even a year ahead. What does this person think? Do they want to stay here? Do they want to live maybe one of the islands or another country? Do they have plans for maybe their job will take them away depending on what they do? That can affect the relationship as well. That goes with your employment status. Current employment is a huge thing right now, especially when you think about getting in a relationship or even thinking about dating. Maybe you shouldn't date if you can't afford it. That's a question you should have with yourself. Is this the right time?
Wow, let's explore that a little more. So what okay, you're having some issues. So what does that mean? I can't have any fun?
Fun is one thing. Dating costs money. There are some free dates that you can do. And I'm sure we've all been in situations where, this time of the month, it's been a little tight because all the bills came in at the same time. So maybe it's not the best time to go out on a date. So you have to think outside of the box with how you're going to do that. But I'm talking about, there are some successfully unemployed people who have very successful relationships, but have never paid for a date. And I've heard about them from my other clients. I'd like to meet some of them.
You sure that isn't like a movie or a dream or something? That's a real thing?
Oh, real life. Dating the unemployed. Yes.
Okay.
So I think that's a very important question. If you're not employed, what are your plans for it? Are you thinking about getting into a relationship? What are you planning to do?
Yeah, well, this is going to sound horrible. People could say, oh, Dwight's being an elitist. Should you date an unemployed person who has no prospects and no means of income at all? I mean, is that should that be? Okay, well, clearly.
Are we talking about a college student? Like somebody who is going to school and, you're dating because both of you are in college? Or are we talking about a grown-up?
Big grown adult. They're in between jobs. How about that?
How long have they been in between jobs? You could be in between jobs for 6 months, in between jobs for 5 years. That just means you don't have a job and you don't plan to get one.
All right. So you're saying that's a red flag there.
That is a huge red flag. Because if you're thinking about long-term with this person, then my mind goes to where are you going to live? Who's going to be able to pay for things as you live? Are you going to live off your parents?
Okay, we're going to pick that up after the news. Stay with us. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. You can text us 4224796. And now at 8:23. Time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here's what's happening. We've got a stationary front weakening across the southeast Bahamas now, while strong high pressure is supporting strong winds and boating conditions across the country today. Beachgoers should stay out of the water due to rough surf and possible dangerous rip currents. And small craft operators are urged to remain in or near port. And residents in Eleuthera should exercise caution while crossing the Glass Window Bridge. For all areas today, forecast calls for partly to mostly cloudy, cool, and windy conditions with quick passing showers through tonight. A small craft advisory remains in effect. Temperatures getting up to around 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 63 Fahrenheit, 17 Celsius. In your extended outlook, high pressure will dominate the weather across the country as it slowly weakens through Friday night. For tomorrow, Thursday, that's going to mean partly cloudy, mild, and breezy conditions with passing showers, becoming fair, breezy, and cool with a passing shower by evening. Friday, partly mostly sunny, warm, and windy with a quick passing shower. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. Traffic for today brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. Again, if you're in Eleuthera, be careful crossing the Glass Window Bridge. We are seeing very windy conditions and rough surf out there, so keep that in mind today. In New Providence, real-time traffic, we're seeing a number of hot spots to tell you about this morning. As predicted, Eastern Road, heavy traffic this morning, westbound from San Souci up to Johnson Road. You're going to be seeing that. And Bernard Road, also another hot spot, all the way up to westbound to the intersection with Soldier Road, Wolf, and Village Road. And that's seeing heavy traffic northbound, just north of Robinson Road on the Soldier Road side. Well past that intersection northbound this morning. That's really hot. Prince Charles Drive, a number of spots there at the major intersections. And then we've got Independence Drive, traffic back to both directions, westbound to the roundabout with Blue Hill Road and eastbound to the roundabout with East Street. Blue Hill Road is seeing heavy traffic from Soldier up to the roundabout with Independence Drive, and well south of that from St. Vincent all the way up to Soldier Road. Carmichael eastbound, heavy traffic to Blue Hill Road. Carmichael westbound, building traffic to Coral Harbor Road, and Carmichael near the termination point at the southern end of Milo Butler Highway, heavy traffic there, and in the Faith Avenue area. Milo Butler, as usual, heavy traffic from Fire Trail all the way up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway, the northbound lanes, and Tawny Williams Darling Highway westbound to that roundabout, and also eastbound to Bahamas Games Boulevard. You can see traffic there. Gladstone Road also heavy in the northbound lanes to JFK Drive. And we're seeing some building traffic and the six-legged roundabout as well. West Bay Street, near Nassau Street, you'll be seeing some congestion there, and those are your hottest spots, but many, many areas this morning seeing some congestion, so keep that in mind. You'll need your patience. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
Take a business trip, and I want John to keep things running while I'm away. How can I ensure he keeps within budget? Maybe I need to get him a camera he does 24/7. Maybe not. Instead, get RBC Credit Share, the RBC credit card feature that allows you to easily and safely share funds with employees for free, and you set the spending limit, so you're always in control. Find out more at rbc.com/Caribbean/credit share. Special conditions apply.
Speed doesn't come easy. It takes your investment in your goals, your time, your full effort, full dedication. And when you think you've done enough, do it again. It takes precision, not just doing it, but doing it as best as possible. Day in, day out. And just like BTC, I will stop at nothing to make the people of the Bahamas stand up and cheer. That's what fuels me and why I'm a proud ambassador of BTC. Because we share a common desire to elevate your internet experience so you elevate everything you do with it and make it the best it can be. Switch to BTC Superfast Internet and elevate what's next.
Start the year making all the right money moves. Budgeting and saving? Yes. Investing? Check. But what if you could do more and get priority access to local investment opportunities right as they come to the market? Never miss a bond or new share offering again. Plus, you can house all your investments in one place and benefit from expert investment advice. Contact us at brokerage@rfgroup.com to start doing more today. Some conditions apply. RF, money at work.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Hey, hey. Oh, I really wanna know, do you?
Relationship Week on Morning Blend. Brought to you by Skin Solutions Day Spa and Salon, Lyford Hills, and Airborne Freight and Cargo Services. Relationship Week brought to you in part by Skin Solutions Day Spa. Still don't know what to get your mate for Valentine's Day? How about a Valentine's Spa? Cupid's Kiss package from Skin Solutions, including a Swedish massage, deep pore facial champagne, and chocolates. 2 hours, $187. Skin Solutions, located on Cable Beach, west of Bahamar. Call 327-0500 or visit their website, skinssolutionsbahamas.net. And we are back here with Morning Blend. It is Relationship Week. Dwight Strachan, along with Chester Robards. We're talking with Dr. E, Dr. Rika Richardson, and we are going through the questions you should ask before you get into a relationship, or should have asked before getting into a relationship. Before the break, that was a big one, Dr. E. Job status, employment prospects, employment future plans. Quit your big 6-figure paying job to start an avocado farm. People need to. People need to.
That part.
All these things.
That part of the conversation reminded me of that. Remember that light-skinned, bright-eyed guy who was about to go to jail, and all the women were like, "Oh, I'll take care of him."
You mean? You mean Jail Bay? He was actually in jail. The one with the model.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was in jail. He's out now. Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to take care of him.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Quite a few taking care of their boyfriends out on bail, so that's not surprising. Not surprising at all. But let's talk more about that, though. Do people really have these conversations about, where do you see yourself? What type of job or what type of business, where are you going to be in 5 years, 10 years?
Some people do have those conversations, and some people listen in those conversations. Others who feel as if those conversations aren't necessary right away. And that should be something you consider if you're trying to seriously date and the person is saying to you, well, this isn't a conversation we should have now. Then you may want to ask yourself, are we on the same page with what we want and what we see going forward? Because if a person isn't interested in having certain conversations, now to give them some credit, maybe timing, it shouldn't, all of these questions should not happen on the first date, but in the first month or two of you knowing this person, you should have an idea of some of these very important, very personal things. And if you don't know, then you ask yourself, what exactly are you guys building? For instance, an important one to ask, what is your relationship with your family? We know that an interaction with a person's family can tell you a lot about not only their ability to have relationships, their ability to have healthy relationships, and the way that they handle any trauma that might have happened. For instance, if you see somebody who does not have a relationship with any of their parents, the question may be, why don't they have a relationship? Not to judge them right off the bat, because, you know, some parents are
horrible.
You really shouldn't have a relationship with them. But then there are others in which they may not have a healthy relationship with them for no other reason than they can't resolve a conflict. And something that maybe the person started or continued and doesn't know how to let go. And so then that tells you, does this person have any kind of conflict resolution skills? Because how is that going to play out in your relationship? Maybe you ask them also the question about what is their relationship, not only with their exes, especially let's say if they have a child with them, but also their interest in talking or having continued conversations with someone of the opposite sex while y'all are in a relationship. That's a big one that's been coming up lately. And feeling as if certain conversations, certain relationships should continue the same way they did prior.
Yeah,
so
a whole show, relationship week coming up later in the week. Friends with the ex. That's a big topic there.
Yes, friends, and exactly what type of friendship? Can you meet this person, or are they very mysterious? That's a very interesting one.
Why would you want? Would you want to meet the ex?
Well, you know, there are some very interesting situations where I actually know a good family friend who was married to. She was married to a guy, and honestly, when they're like the best friends and they got divorced, and you look at their relationship, you realize they should have never been married. They should have always just been friends. And that is their relationship. You know that there is nothing going on with them at all. Like you ever look at some people, you'd be like, y'all really good at being brother and sister. That's really what you should have been. And
they got married?
Married, and that's probably why the marriage lasts long, because of the fact that they were friends, not because they were lovers.
Okay.
And so now they are still friends, and they both have been remarried, and both partners know about this relationship, and they're very okay with it, because you could just look at them and realize, like, there is just nothing going on there. We don't even know how they got attracted to each other in the first place.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're just really good friends. On other situations, some people should really not be friends with their exes, because there is still obviously some tension there, and some want for more than just a platonic friendship. You might want to ask somebody about their political and spiritual beliefs. Those are very important systems, and they guide a lot of how people make their value-based systems. We just had a question before we started the show about the idea of abortion, or the idea about norms in relationships.
Yeah, very interesting. Chester, were you on that show when a caller said that if they pass marital rape legislation, that that's going to affect the marriage rate in the country? And I'm like, what now? And I said, okay, maybe that's a question people need to ask on the first date. Hey, if they pass marital rape legislation, would you want to get married? And if they say no, then I think you should just get up if you're at a table and walk out, perhaps, unless you're into that. But what do you? Yeah, that can reveal a lot.
That is huge. I didn't realize how big marital rape was until I had a few marital couples who've expressed how it exists currently within their marriage. And so this is a serious conversation we need to have, and this entitlement we feel like we have to another person once we sign those papers of marriage. And so hopefully the conversation, and because that's a huge one. Another question asks, how does the person need or deal with alone time? This is a huge one. Some people feel like they need to be connected all the time with somebody else. And at some level, that's really unhealthy. I'm just going to say that. You should want to and have some time by yourself to be with yourself so that you can reconnect, so that you can deal with, process maybe some thoughts that you have in your head before you even bring those up to anybody else. And you just may need some time to decompress. That is very essential to a relationship. Mm-hmm. The idea that you need to be with somebody all the time, doing things with only them. Besides being a stage 1 clinger, that's the idea that maybe that person doesn't have a strong sense of self. And that's scary.
Are those deal breakers? Like, okay, well, you like a lot of alone time, but I need to be around you all the time. Are we just never going to mesh, or is there a medium? Is it possible at all?
There's a happy medium. This is why conversation and communication is key, because we need to find that balance. Maybe it's not something you can do every week for a whole day, but maybe we compromise where every other week we both go do our things and we'll meet up at another time. That's a very important thing. But there are some people who are just loners though, but yet they want to be in relationships. I call those the people you're in a relationship with, but you forget you're in a relationship with them because they just go missing. Like they are so used to being by themselves and reclusive that they don't realize they have to share themselves. Mm-hmm. So relationship does require you to share.
I'm impressed that there are stages to clinginess.
Chester, what level are you? Stage 1? Stage 1?
Me? I don't know what stage 1 or 2 or 3 is.
There's also a need for privacy. Mm-hmm. I actually saw a meme about this yesterday, that we're in relationships, this idea that we need to have access to everything that a person have that we're in a relationship is completely unhealthy. And there's a level to that where I have to have all of access to your phones, your emails, who you talking to, when you're talking to them. There is a level to that is almost scary in this generation of dating.
Yeah, but there are tons of people will tell you, if you can't show me these things, then you've got something to hide and that you're the problem.
So there's a level of transparency. The question I would first ask is, where's our trust level in this relationship, right? Because maybe there was some trauma, some trust injury that has happened that has created that. But you could have access, but are you always snooping? Mm-hmm. And if you're always snooping, the question is, why do you feel the need to snoop? So there are couples who have the same phone. So I might accidentally take your phone today to work, and literally because we have the same phone, same case, we didn't do anything. Am I going to freak out because I have my partner has my phone the whole day? Then the question is, what are you doing? What are you doing?
All right, so that leads to the next question. Should you have each other's passwords or codes and stuff like that?
Again, that's a conversation you guys have to have with the level of privacy you need within the relationship. There are a lot of couples who do, and there are some couples who don't. For instance, and probably with my business phone, my partner will never have that, because that's a level of confidentiality that can never be broken. But they understand that there's respect for that level and that need for privacy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Earlier we were talking about abortion, but babies, having babies, some people don't want them. Some people want plenty. And for many people, they have no choice in this matter. Let's talk about that, how important that is. And then we can get into raising the children, the differences in opinions on raising children. But let's talk about the baby issue, how serious an issue that is.
Well, here's one thing. I had a client last time. We had this conversation about the respect we now have for asking women about their wombs. I think it's a very disrespectful comment that a lot of people make, especially in our culture, when it comes to what is appropriate and not appropriate. But if you see a couple who has been married or even recently married, it's not your place to ask them about when are you going to have a baby. And the reason is because a lot of women right now are dealing with a lot of female issues, or even the guy may be dealing with a lot of male issues as well. And bringing up a conversation like that is actually encroaching on their lines of boundaries, because you have no idea what they're going through. A lot of people right now are dealing with OS or endometriosis or just having fibroid issues, which can impact their ability to have or even conceive or to keep the pregnancy. Then there are males who are dealing with infertility issues as well. And so when a person says, or I had a friend the other day, she went to a dinner with some friends, and she had already told one of the friends about her infertility stuff that they're dealing with. And it was so obvious that the other person brought it up because they wanted to know more about it in a dinner table full of people.
Oh, dear.
And I said, that is so inappropriate.
Yeah. Wow. My goodness. All right. So I've heard couples, some are together, some aren't together, but having real differences of opinion, debates, heated discussions about the choices with their children, whether they should go to boarding school, whether they should go to this school, private school, public school, go to this, whatever. And this becoming a major challenge in their relationship. It seems that this would be something you should have discussed before. But I guess people change. Hey, sometimes you realize now I want my child to speak German and whatever, Swahili and all this stuff. But I didn't think that when I first met you.
It could be access to income as well, too. Maybe that's why the person has changed. Before, they didn't think it was possible. And maybe the fact that we really don't have conversations about, we may or may not have a conversation in whether we'll engage with intimate relations with a person, right? But we don't have a conversation about what that intimate relation can result in when it comes to a union being created, right? And we created this zygote, which is this child in union of being conceived. Now, what do we do as this child comes into the world? And maybe our relationship doesn't work out, but now communicate through this. So it's very important before you create somewhat of a soul tie with a person that you ask yourself, could you co-parent with them? I think that's a larger question to ask than rather not whether you could be in a relationship with them. Yeah. Because co-parenting is a separate relationship within itself, whether you're together or not. Mm-hmm. There are some people who believe some females who believe that they should have all the say when it comes to the children because they were the ones who gave birth to the children. And I'm here to tell some of the females it took two people to conceive a child, so the male should have just as much an opinion about the raising and rearing of the children as you should. Mm-hmm. Maybe you get to be the final decision maker, but their opinion and their points do matter within the course of parenting.
Yeah. But some people change, right? Yes. You aren't the person you were when I first met you 15, 20 years ago, and we had agreed on this, but now you're telling me this, or I'm telling you this, and I didn't sign up for that.
So this is why there has to be a conversation. Like maybe the child changed everything. Mm-hmm. It changed the ability to be responsible, where the finances went. It changed how they interacted. So you need to have a conversation with the person about, okay, we used to think this way. We used to believe that this was important, that our child go to this particular school, but now these things have evolved. What are we going to do, and how do we make a plan now going forward? Mm-hmm. And so custodial issues are huge. I work with parents all the time coming up with parenting plans, especially if you guys are no longer together. How are you going to co-parent this child? Because at the end of the day, adults who conceive children should be able to put their own individual selfish needs aside for the betterment of the child. Uh-oh. But, that's why I believe there should be a checkoff to parenting. But anyway.
Oh, that's the whole show. We need to talk about that. All right. We want to hear from you folks. What else do you think are some of the questions that should be asked, or maybe you've learned the hard way? Tell us 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. We've got quite a few messages on our text line as well. We talked about that. There are some people who don't like to be alone. I know many people that get involved with a person before they got rid of another person. Got involved with a new person.
Well, that was the next one on the list, which is your views on monogamy. That's a huge one people don't talk about, but assume that applies because we're together, that we should have the same views on that. And again, if you're liking an ex's photo on Facebook, is that considered cheating? To some people it is, to other people it's not. Mm-hmm. If I said I'm dating, and dating meaning getting to know several people, more dates than the others, are you getting jealous of it? even though I told you about it. So, monogamy is a huge one we should have a conversation about. We a lot of times assume monogamy in relationships. And I'm here to tell you, there should be no assumptions, even when you're married.
Yeah. All right. Here we go again. Another one of these. If you think the divorce rate is high now, wait until the marital rape law is passed here.
Huh? Pardon? I need to.
So
I need an explanation on that.
Why would that be? Because we got a bunch of rapists? What are you saying? Text her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they need to get back to us.
Persons from the church love to ask that when you're having this baby. It happened to me, and we were dealing with infertility issues. Yeah, it's very sad. Very sad. All right. What is this? Are these questions best asked point blank and answer type session, or should you try to weave them into the conversation over time? Does the latter drag things out? Yeah, so hand them a questionnaire and say, here's a pencil.
No, I don't think we want to do that. But I think we should weave those questions in. The more important one should probably be weaved in earlier within the context of getting to know somebody before you get so connected to them that it's harder to let go than the others. But the others should be weaved in over time, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Like one about the level of jealousy. Jealousy is a huge one within relationships, right? And it is okay, believe it or not, there's a little bit of jealousy is okay and it can actually be healthy, but because we're all human. But obsessive jealousy, on the other hand, is not good. It can create a lot of arguments. And, that's a conversation.
Okay. Boy, oh boy, this is...
That sounds like you don't want to read that one on there.
I'm going to read it, but, I don't understand our people. I really don't. So a lot of people are asking about you, Dr. E.
About my personal life?
Yes. If you're married, if you're a Christian, why should we take advice from someone who's not married? All that kind of garbage there. Okay. All right.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure with what my personal beliefs have to do with any of this because, but I'll just leave that there.
Yeah.
But I'll just say that if that person is referring to my ability to believe that marital rape is inappropriate, I think any human would think that that's inappropriate, that somebody else feels entitled to somebody else's body without their consent, whether you're married or not. Because I didn't see that one in the scriptures anywhere but if you can find that, please send it to us via text. You want to give them those numbers again? Because I'd really like to know where that one is.
Hey, 422-4796. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll get to your calls and more of your text messages if they're sensible. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're talking with Dr. E, Dr. Drika Richardson, and we're talking about the questions you need to ask before you get into a relationship. You got a lot of questions for Dr. E about her stuff, but you're not asking your partners the right stuff, folks. Oh, boy. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Maria is going away to college, but I'm worried about her spending. Maybe I can create an alarm that goes off every time she overspends. Or I'll just move in with her. Hi, Rumi. Or just get RBC Credit Share, the RBC credit card feature that allows you to easily and safely share funds with family members for free. And you set the spending limit so you're always in control. Find out more at rbc.com/Caribbean/credit share. Special conditions apply.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9 and Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. It is Relationship Week, and today the topic, questions you need to ask before you get into a relationship. Dr. Drika Richardson is back with us this morning, and we only have a couple minutes with her left because she has work to do, a client. So, Doctor, your final bit of advice for folks out there who are in the early stages, and they are lucky that they can do this before they make any real commitments. And for those who even are in committed relationships but still need to know some things about the future of their relationship or who the person is, what would you say?
I say that they need to start a conversation with curiosity in mind and ask the person some questions. Even if you've been with them 5 years, 10 years, ask them. They change on a daily basis. As humans, the more information we get, we constantly are assimilating that information and accommodating that in our minds. And so we need to constantly be curious about our partners, and start with smaller questions. Make sure they're open-ended so they allow for conversation to get to the other ones rather than very direct, closed questions so that the person does not feel as if they are getting on the defensive. We don't want that to happen. And so healthy communication creates healthy relationships. We need more of those in the country to help us with some of these violent things we've been seeing lately, especially when it comes to relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Dr. E, we're going to let you go. Always a pleasure. Thank you for being part of Relationship Week. And I know we're going to talk again soon. Thank you.
Hey, have a good day, Chester.
Have a good day. Bye.
All right. Dr. Drika Richardson there. And we appreciate her always. And you can continue. We still have a couple more minutes. Continue to send in your questions or call. We'll just hear what you, your advice. You
should answer. You should give them some advice, Dwight.
Me? Yeah. Boy. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. But what she's saying there at the end there, definitely people are changing, always changing. So, that's important. Remember that you both won't be where you were when you first met, even if it's been days, but especially weeks, months, years, decades. It's going to be something else. And hopefully you can get through it. All right, 422-4796. It's the tactic this call. Good morning, caller. You are on Morning Blend.
Mr. Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
How are you, sir?
Doing well.
I'm a bit upset with you this morning. Mr.
Oh,
Jefferson,
yeah?
Yes, sir. Yes. I'm an old man. You treat me very disrespectful this morning. I was waiting.
Oh, okay.
I was waiting to ask the madam a question. And you just didn't allow me to.
Not at all, caller. I apologize. I have had no notification that there was a call. Yes. Not one. So I apologize on behalf of the crew.
I wanted to ask the question from her. When one is being trapped and being deceived in the spirit of deception, what do one do after finding out that he or she being trapped under the spirit of deception? That is one of the major principles in this country today. People are not real. That's the question I really wanted to ask. I don't know if she can call back and explain that when you're being under the spirit of deception, making believe, living a lie, what do you do?
I mean, you already have determined that you were trapped and deceived.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you have
You're
to
not
decide.
qualified because you have you ever been
No, I
married?
don't. But I mean, it's pretty simple though. Either you leave, or you try to work it out. That's all. I mean, that's.
How can you
what
work it
else?
out when someone already deceived?
Well, then you've already made your decision.
There are
Move
some
on.
folk, I in my profession, there are folk who was in a relationship, deep into it with a sister, with two children, with two different men, and she had the children out on the family islands. And when he found out, he was disturbed about that. That's a spirit of deception. Would you agree?
Sure. And so what? What are you going to do? You can't. if
Well,
you don't,
I asked him to get out. Like I'm now promoting that to in my candy kitchen. All men, I am asking to have a conversation with your wife, and if she believes in this liberal belief now with marital rape, which and
how is that liberal?
Excuse me.
How is that liberal?
Listen to me, Dwight. I'm an old man now. I'm getting old. Dwight, wisdom come with age. I realize that there's a conspiracy to replace and liberalize all the traditional values. And the traditional values, like the lady said, she can stick to her traditional values. I think it was Monday. She's sticking to those values. This liberal values is a trap. This is to replace all the traditional values. If one go into marriage under the spirit of deception and marital rape, I would encourage all of my friends to get out of it. Because guess what? It's going to be some dark days, and get out. Although I am a Christian, and I believe in the principle of marriage, but this liberal views that now trying to replace with marital rape, I would encourage all my friends, and if they need a loan or a lawyer, I will help them.
Let me get this right. I know I mishear people. Are you saying that if marital rape
is witchcraft,
and if it becomes a law, you would encourage all men to get divorced? That's what you're saying?
If you find out your wife want to use that on you, get a divorce. It's a trap. It's a form of witchcraft. Like a child, okay? If you be a good boy, I'll give you candy.
I mean, well, obviously you have a very unhealthy relationship if that's what's going on in your life, and you should have gotten a divorce long before this.
I agree.
So that has nothing to do with marital rape. You're in a terrible, terrible relationship.
I agree, and this is why the divorce rate in this country is so high.
I mean, Pew, right? Who cares what the divorce rate? Who cares what it is? If you're suffering, get out.
But listen, I agree, Dwight. I agree with you. Let me just use this analogy, Dwight. And I really appreciate that you entertaining me. I have no problem with the protocol of the coronavirus, because the profession that I am in, I also have to govern myself by the protocol. But listen, all these other issues, marital rape, etc., where is the protocol and the message on the issue of the family? Do an observation on that. Where is the rage and outcry with the amount of homicide we had last week? Let's look at the conspiracy now. We had our young men. We had about 4 or 5 young men succumb to the hands of homicide last week. There is no rage in this country. If this is not a conspiracy, Dwight, trust me, something has to be wrong.
Okay, all right, caller. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's read some of these messages as we go to the news. Boy. Okay. Lots of women are married and allegedly getting raped, abused physically or verbally. It becomes an easy way to get out. The easy way to get out is to get a divorce. I'm not understanding. Yeah, well, I think it's, okay. I think the doctor is rude. Why would she say any human who doesn't think, oh my goodness gracious, who doesn't think marital rape is wrong? Okay, I'm not. Yeah. Any human would think marital rape is wrong. So I'm not human. I have views of my own. That doesn't mean I'm not human. This person thinks the doctor's rude because she said any human would think marital rape is wrong. And they're saying, so I'm not human. I have views of my own. That doesn't mean I'm not human. Well, rape is the issue, right? Rape. Do you think rape is a problem? If you don't, then that's what she's saying. And many would agree that we have to question whether you are indeed a human. Someone says here, you put your best foot forward in the first 6 months. After that, you see the real them. Okay. Another one, no offense, Dr. E, I just wanted to know, to understand if she's a married person in a relationship, because relationship advice from a non-married person is different from a married relationship, lots of difference. Another person wants to know her credentials. Well, just Google Dr. Rika Richardson, I'm sure. You can find out. You can find out more from her practice as well. Corrupt there. Okay. Let's take a break. We're going to be back with Morning Blend Business. Stay with us, folks.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up. Wake up. It's a new day.
Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, February 16th, 2022. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan, along with Chester Robards. This morning, we are talking with BTC, a lot of exciting things. And here to tell us all about it, very pleased to welcome back to the show. It's been a while, Carol Barnett. Carol, where you been?
I've just been booked and busy.
Oh, my. Well, I'm glad
There's got to be a big announcement if Carol's on the show.
Right?
Oh, really, Chester? Yes, we always have great and huge announcements going on at BTC. As you know, we would have launched our fiber campaign. Basically, we're moving throughout New Providence and indeed the Bahamas. And now we're very pleased to announce that, of course, when you look at our home services and the savings that you're already receiving, customers will now be able to receive additional savings. And that's because we are now merging our mobile service, which will be our postpaid service, with our home plan. So if you combine any mobile plan with our home plans, any one of our home services, the bundles we're talking about, you get an additional savings from BTC. Now you get $20 savings every month, from any of whichever plan you select as your mobile plan, your postpaid plan. So that's really huge for us.
Wow.
At BTC. So if you're on that $44.99 plan, the lowest plan, then you only pay an additional, you just pay $24 along with your home services. So, we're just excited about that. We want, Bahamians to understand that, we're going to continue to provide them with these great savings. And of course, if you sign up online, you also get the opportunity, you get a free tablet, a free Samsung tablet as well. This weekend, our door-to-door teams, we are on the ground, we're on the roads, we're taking our services to our customers. And we've been known, for doing this type of initiative for years now. But we've kind of we've amplified it really And we are going to be in the Boyd Road area this Saturday. So those customers, they have fiber speeds of up to 600 megs.
My goodness. Wow. Okay. All right. So many questions. All right. So besides the savings, what are the benefits? Why would I want to combine my home service with my mobile service like that? Tell us about that. What are the benefits there beyond the savings? And
well, of course, it's based on, the packages that we offer. They are just packed with value. So, customers, when you look at what the situation that we're in now, I just listened to your newscast and just talked about, the economic situation here in the Bahamas. There are persons who are still working from home like myself. There are persons, the schools are still in this hybrid situation. And, students want to be, they have to be able to be on Zoom calls, Teams calls, working through their school. So we're providing you additional bandwidth, up to 600 megs of speed, like I would have said earlier. And so you have the opportunity to, you're working from home, and you even have entertainment because we give you, you have your channels, you also have your home phone service, which is also packed with value as well. So we're giving you value plus savings at BTC. So the reason why you would want to merge your home along with your mobile is the key thing is savings, because we are all trying to save now. So the key thing is savings. If you have a postpaid plan, you don't have to worry about purchasing minutes, anything like that. You don't have to worry. You have a plan that's continuous. Wherever you are, you're able to use your plan. We have great, roaming rates as it relates to, when persons are traveling on their postpaid plan as well. So you definitely want to be able to combine, or you want to combine your home services with your mobile services, because you get, first thing, great savings. You save up to almost $1,000 per year. And anybody can, you can always think about a million things that you can do with $1,000. And at the end of the day, it's the value that you get. You get the channels, you get your home phone where you have a bucket of minutes to make international calls. And you also get, first and foremost, the 600 megs of speed. So if you have children who are, and adults now are gaming, they have the opportunity to just game on, you have one little bit of entertainment, you can watch TV. So, it's just value packed. And I think what's key for Bahamians on the whole is the savings.
Yeah. All right. So what if you have multiple people part of this plan?
So we have up to 4 persons for the postpaid plans, 4 persons can be a part of this. So if you have your home services and you have your mobile, your prepaid, your postpaid, plan, 3 other individuals in your home can also sign up with this as well. So 4 people in total would get the value, and that's about an extra, it's $80 savings for each group of 4.
Wow. Okay. That sounds amazing. And so you can get mom, dad, and the kids,
of course,
all on this.
Everybody's connected and everybody's lit, like we say, because now you have all these, super fast fiber speeds in your home as well. So students can, they can homeschool in comfort. Parents can work from home in comfort. And you can also get your entertainment as well, and feel comfortable that, you're playing your games or whatever it is you deem necessary to do at home with your internet. You're comfortable and you know that you have the best speeds and you know that you have the best service.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned a tablet, Samsung tablet. Tell us more about that, how you get that as part of this.
So new customers, when you sign up online, you will receive your free Samsung tablet. So just trying to, if you don't want to pop into the store, or if our teams are not in your neighborhood, but you want to sign up, you can go online and sign up and get the free tablet. And it's a free Samsung tablet. And, Samsung is a very popular and famous brand here in the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now what constitutes new? If you already have landline service, but that's it, and now you want to combine, will you be considered new there?
If you get a new bundle. So if you sign up for your home service bundle and your postpaid bundle, you get the tablet.
All right, so that is fantastic. Wow. Mm-hmm. All right, so any devices other than that any handsets come with this if you sign up, or are there any deals with those if you sign up for this?
We always have deals at BTC. There's always a deal at BTC. So definitely, you will receive a free handset. And then we also want to remind our postpaid customers, every year, when you renew your contract, you get a free handset from BTC. If you want a high-tiered handset, we give you a real deep discount so that you can get the handset of your choice. So we're always, seeking to give back to our customers. So postpaid customers, every year you get a free handset from BTC. So we want to remind customers of that opportunity as well.
I'm thinking about it. I mean, do you recommend this? This might be better for parents with their children, right? So you can monitor better their usage if it's postpaid as opposed to prepaid. Is that right?
Yeah, I think, again, you're paying $24 a month. Mm-hmm. So, you might, if you have 3 children and it's according to, allowances, you get them a device and then you give them their minutes. I mean, and sometimes, yes, they can use Wi-Fi at home, but they're not at home all the time. And they do other things on their device that will kind of use up their data, and they would need, to purchase minutes. So I think it's a great thing. And it helps them too with budget management. It helps them with just managing, they know that, okay, this is my plan that I have. My parents are paying $24 per month for this. I mean, and that it just helps. It helps the whole family. It helps pockets. And the children have the opportunity to use. They have this postpaid service that they use seamlessly, month on month. So I think it's a great deal, and that's why we're so excited about it, because we want to make sure that our customers they hear and understand all of the great things that we have to offer at BTC, and the fact that we have fiber in that Chippenham and Boyd Road and Farrington Road area is even an extra boost for us. We do have fiber practically almost throughout New Providence, and we're working to continue to extend fiber throughout. But we're now going to be in that Chippenham area this Saturday, between that Boyd Road, between Boyd Road and Farrington Road area, up in that area there, where our teams will be out there. You will hear us, you will feel us, you will see us in your neighborhood this Saturday. And you could sign up for these great deals that we have in BTC. So we just wanted those customers or potential customers to know as well that BTC is going to be in your neck of the woods.
All right. So for those residents, what should they do? Should they come out and meet you, or should they expect that you'll come to their home?
We're knocking on doors. So we're going to be knocking on every door in the neighborhood. They will see us. They will know, we'll go in on Friday and just let them know that we are coming, just to remind them. So they can prepare. And sometimes people have questions prior to you arriving, so that they start to think, they get the flyers, they're able to look at the plans, and so they start to think about, which plan is best for me. And so by the time you get there the next day, they're all excited and they're able to say, okay, these are the plans that that I want to sign up for. We're going to have our technicians with us. We're going to have our sales team with us. We're also going to have our customer service teams. So our technicians will start to install right away once you sign up.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's pretty good. All right. So what if you don't live in the area, but you're driving by and you heard this on Morning Blend Business, and can you stop over and talk to somebody?
Of course. Most definitely you can stop and talk to somebody, because there's a possibility that we will have fiber in your neighborhood. The teams will just be in that particular neighborhood this Saturday. So if you're living in an area, we're able to share. So on our maps, on our website, we have the maps of the locations where we have fiber. But we're able to sit down and just, maybe talk to customers who are passing and just want to understand what's all this excitement, what's this all about. I'm wanting to understand a little bit more about fiber. So we're really trying to educate customers and, let them know how great fiber really is, and just letting them know which areas we have fiber. So if they're passing and they're from another area, we're able to say, what service we can provide.
Mm-hmm. All right. So for those who aren't up on the lingo and maybe not tech savvy, but they want the latest and the greatest. When you say that the fiber speeds are up to 600 megs, explain that to somebody who's seeing well under that, how much of a difference that could make in their life.
Well, for fiber speeds of 600 megs, it means that, so, sometimes you're home, and one person maybe, especially if they're gaming, and I always speak about gaming because, Gaming is huge here in the Bahamas. It's amazing how many children are actually gaming, but that takes a lot of bandwidth. You as a parent want to be home watching, either your Netflix or, whatever it is you want to be watching, your favorite shows, or you may have a meeting or something like that. With this bandwidth, it allows for 4 or 5 persons at home to be able to be on that internet without any type of buffering. It gives you the bandwidth that you need, for those types of activities. A lot of persons who have, a lower speeds, they find that it's 3 or 4 persons that are trying to use the internet for whatever reason. So the bandwidth, the speeds allow you to have greater bandwidth.
Yeah, that is wonderful. 600 megs. My goodness. All right. So tell us a little more about the sign-up process, whether you do it online or if you meet up with the agents on Saturday, or if you come into a BTC location. What's required? What do you need to do to get this process rolling?
So once you get into, if it's a BTC location, or if our door-to-door teams are working with you on site, we just need an updated ID, a government-issued ID. We need that information. We also conduct a little credit check just to make sure, that you're in good standing. When you sign up online, it goes through to our customer service team. Someone will reach out to you and walk you through the same process. Once everything is in good standing, then our tech teams, we work out, a schedule in terms of when you'll be available for the service. If persons are ready on the spot, then the tech teams will start the process right there if we're in your neighborhood. So it's just making sure that we have your identification, a copy of that, and then of course just a credit check, which is in many cases most people are in good standing to be able to get the service right away.
And how long does the process take from a tech side? If you're an existing customer or if you're not a customer, is there a difference in time, and how long does it take?
I think our time frame is 48 hours. But if we're in your neighborhood, it could take even a shorter time because the techs are already there. So we try to install our customers within 48 hours. We make the appointments and we meet those appointments, sometimes even before 48 hours.
Wow, this sounds amazing. All right, so remind us, Saturday, what times are going to be out there in the Boyd Road area, from when to when?
So we start at 10 a.m. in the morning, and we're going to be in the area until 4 p.m. So we're hanging out, with those persons in that area all day. We're going to be in that neighborhood. And if you want to be able to purchase mobile devices, our teams are going to be there as well. So they will be able to purchase mobile devices as well, top up, things like that. We were there last week, Saturday, in another part of the area, and persons, and I guess it was just before Valentine's Day, and persons were buying their mobile devices. They were passing and just seeing the setup on the roads and pulling over and purchasing top up mobile devices and just asking about the service. So you're going to see us, like I said, you're going to feel us. You're going to know that we are in the neighborhood.
Oh boy, people are getting new devices for Valentine's Day. Yeah.
You didn't get one, Dwight?
Not at all. Okay. All right. That's how it is. Wow.
But I mean, people always need a new device. I mean,
that's true.
Dropping your device, stuff like that. So yeah.
All right, beautiful. We got a text here. Somebody's asking, what if you already have postpaid and the fiber package? Do you have any special deals for those people? Or how can
we definitely when they speak with our customer service representatives, we definitely can work that out.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And again, the website, if you want to go do this online,
it's www.btcbahamas.com.
All right. So you got many options there. They may be in your neighborhood. You can do it online or go into a BTC location.
Yes.
Great stuff. So which neighborhood are you going to be in next? Can you say?
Every week, we're exactly where we're going to be, but we're just moving through the Chippingham area now. And then when we move on to another area, definitely we'll stop by on this radio station and let customers know where, where we're going to be next.
Looking forward to it. Carol, don't be a stranger. We haven't talked to you in a long time.
I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be a stranger. And I definitely will be in studio at some point, but, just trying to juggle a few things.
No, we understand. But thank you so much.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Carol
Yes.
Barnett, always a pleasure. BTC,
Thank you.
thanks so much. Great information. And wonderful. We're going to take a break and be back with more Morning Blend Business in just a bit. Stay with us.
Hello, hello, baby, you called, I can't hear a thing. I have got no service in the club, you say. What did you say? Oh, you're breaking up on me. Sorry, I cannot hear you, I'm kinda busy. Sorry, I cannot hear you, I'm kinda busy. Just a second, it's my favorite song they're gonna play. And I cannot text you with that drink in my hand. You should've made some plans with me, you knew that I was free. And now you won't stop calling me, I'm kinda busy. Stop calling, I don't wanna think anymore. Get my head in my heart on the dance floor. Stop calling, I don't wanna talk anymore. Get my head in my heart on the dance floor. Stop telephoning me, I'll be safe. Stop telephone.
This traffic report is brought to you by Shield Insurance and Prudential Loss Adjusters.
Quite a look at the remnants of some of the heaviest traffic congestion still hanging out on some of those corridors, but there's been a lot of improvement as well. So mile up on the highway tops among them. That lengthy traffic line really reduced in there. They've been sharing the roundabout with Tony William Darling westbound lanes, and it certainly worked for them. You still got your minor slowups happening on Carmichael Road to get out there on the Blue Hill Road, and Blue Hill Road still slow to get over the hill, and of course that's affected by the heavy congestion that's on Independence Drive West lane. By this time, Independence East lane as well slowed the roundabout there on East Street down. And so you've got this mad dash just about everywhere for folks to finally get on in. Familiar traffic delays can be seen on Robertson Road as you cross Soldier Road and go into the traffic lights ahead of the intersection. One delay is still happening on Prince Charles Drive for the traffic that's crossing over Soldier Road headed into the intersection there at Marathon Road. And by this time, Marathon Road still very busy with traffic headed up there onto East Street. But at Soldier Road, the congestion at the Wolf Village Point and Soldier Road still having the lengthy traffic lines. Be a while before you guys get out of there because you've got heavy traffic line on both Soldier Road and the Wooded Road side that's slowing you down. Eastern Road traffic still, a lot of it is gone, and it lightens up as you get on the exit to get out of Shirley Street. And finally, the traffic from out west, still on the mild side, actually slows you down more when you reach Fort Charlotte headed into the Nassau Street and downtown area. This Nassau Traffic Report serves Dr. Daddy Johnson Associates at Foot and Ankle International. They're located Dean's Lane on top of the hill at Fort Charlotte. Call them at 322-5402. I'm VANN.
Michael was in a horrible car accident. Prudential Loss Adjusters managed his claim and got him the settlement he deserved. Sierra's roof received hurricane damage. Thanks to Prudential, she and her kids are happy with their claim settlement. Tammy fractured her ankle. Initial saved her time, money, and peace of mind. Prudential Loss Adjusters are here for you whenever a tragedy strikes. Call 322-4026 now.
Protect the things that really matter to you. Shield Insurance is the insurance company that grows with you to meet your insurance needs through this beautiful adventure we call life. From automobile to home to life and health, boat, liability, construction, and business insurance, Shield has affordable policies, flexible options, friendly service, and the expertise to protect your hard-earned assets. Shield Insurance agents and brokers in Nassau, call 356-7202 or Freeport 352-5945.
Girl, you see how Cora eye look funny, all black up yesterday?
But she say she bumped into a wall when she's running after the churn dam.
Yeah, but last Saturday you see her arm was all black and blue, right?
So what you saying? You think something wrong between her and Jack?
I ain't sure, but you know Jack is a jealous man. I hear him and Cora last Friday. I hear him say he hear Cora have eyes for Junior.
Now you know that ain't true. Cora is a good woman. Go to church every Sunday. So what you think we should do?
I think we should report Jack, you know. Cora don't say nothing, but silence hides violence. And we don't want to line up in the cemetery.
Not me. I ain't getting in nobody business. Then Jack come after me and I line up next to Cora.
No, man, we could call a text Crime Stopper. And remember, we can even get some grocery money for our tip.
Remind me again, how does this work?
We can call them in Miami locally at 328-TIPS or 328-8477. Or when we in the island, call toll-free at 300-TIPS or 300-8477. And if you don't have no minutes, use the Crack Crime Bahamas app and we could text them and the messages get all mixed up before it leave your phone so nobody can know what you saying.
So what we waiting on then? Let's go earn some grocery money.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too, because it's CFAL interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. The government will gather with local wholesalers in a brainstorming session on the level of inflation in the country and try to find ways to tackle it. That's according to Economic Affairs Minister Michael Halkitis, who said the government is concerned about the price increases being caused by global supply chain issues brought on by the COVID pandemic and oil and fuel price increases caused in part by the brewing conflict with Russia and the Ukraine. He added that inflation in the U.S. has been slightly worse than what country's economists had predicted, lamenting that those prices translate to. The Bahamas has been invited to visit Saudi Arabia to experience its developments and the aggressive plans the government has for investment as a blueprint for where the Bahamas could take its own development. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investment and Aviation, Chester Cooper, confirming this yesterday, adding that both countries will soon develop a diplomatic relationship. Cooper, speaking to reporters outside Cabinet, said government officials met with a delegation from Saudi Arabia on Monday, headed by the Saudi Minister of Tourism. And he says that tangible possibilities exist for both countries in various areas, such as tourism and aviation. Cooper says Saudi Arabia is currently lobbying to host World Expo 2030 and explained that the Bahamas has offered its support of the country's bid to hold the event. The Bahamas has been looking closely at the Middle East for economic opportunities ever since the government took a delegation to Dubai for World Expo 2020. As roughly 123 of their final day, the British colonial Hilton, Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union President Darren Wood says he's hopeful that the hotel's managers will reabsorb available employees if and when a new brand is finalized for the property. Tourism Minister Chester Cooper yesterday said the government was advised by China Construction America, which owns the property, that it was able to secure the interest of another major international brand to be attached to the property, but that renovations will be needed first. Wood says it is a bit of a relief that the news is coming from the government and that it will not be a permanent closure for the hotel. Read more about that in today's Guardian Business section. Overseas, Americans picked up the pace of spending in January as the threat of Omicron faded and there was some easing of supply shortages. Retail sales surged a seasonally adjusted 3.8% last month, whizzing past the projections of most economists. That compared to the prior month when sales slid 2.5%, according to revised figures released Wednesday by the U.S. Commerce Department. Surging inflation likely pumped up the numbers further in January. Retail sales were up across the spectrum. Sales at general merchandise stores rose 3.6%, while department stores saw business up 9.2%. Sales at furniture and home furnishings stores rose 7.2%. Online sales surged 14.5%, but restaurants saw a 0.9% decline from the month before, likely as consumers refrained from going out to eat for fear of catching the virus. Gasoline sales fell 1.3% last month, possibly a result of the cost and cases of Omicron, which rose in tandem. That's according to Bankrate.com. The Omicron variant that emerged in late November caused widespread worker shortages, with so many people calling out sick. Yet the wave of the most recent variant appears to have been short-lived mid-January, as fast as they rose late last year. And more from the U.S., anyone who's Been temporarily blinded by high beam headlights from an oncoming car will be happy about this. The U.S. highway safety regulators are about to allow new high-tech headlights that can automatically tailor beams so they focus on dark areas of the road and don't create glare. For Traffic Safety Administration says it issued a final rule allowing what's called adaptive driving beam headlights on new vehicles. It'll go into effect when published in the Federal Register in the next few days. The headlights, commonly used in Europe, have LED lamps that can focus beams on darkness, such as the driver's lane and areas along the roadside. They also lower the intensity of the light beams if there's oncoming traffic. Camera sensors and computers help determine where the light should go. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX. From Tuesday, your market movers, Cable Bahamas moving 4,500 shares, down 25 cents to $2.90. Commonwealth Brewery moving 300 unchanged at $7.99. Finco moving 250 unchanged at $9.85. Focall moving 10,900, closing at $3.93, up 32 cents. Consolidated Water down 1 cent, closing at $1.95. Emira Incorporated unchanged at $11.29. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,238.76, up 9.71. That's your Market Watch. And that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. On Guardian Radio 96.9, Dwight along with Chester Robards. And in this portion of the show today, we're going to be talking about some of the issues in the business world, in the newspapers today. And this article in today's Guardian Business by our own Chester Robards, government to meet with wholesalers on price increases. Chester writes, the government will gather with local wholesalers in a brainstorming session on the level of inflation the country is facing and try to find ways to tackle it, according to Minister of Economic Affairs Michael Halkitis. Halkitis saying yesterday that the government's concerned about the price increases being caused by global supply chain issues brought on by the COVID pandemic and oil and fuel price increases caused in part by the brewing conflict with Russia and Ukraine. Halkitis says that inflation in the U.S. has been slightly worse than what economists had predicted, lamenting that those prices translate to added costs for the behaving consumer. As I say, we are importers of much of what we consume, and so we are feeling the effects of what's going on, particularly in the U.S. as well as in the U.K. What we are doing is we are arranging a meeting with some wholesalers here, and we're going to have a sit down with the Prime Minister and just have a chat as to anything that can possibly happen to alleviate the impact of the increases. As prices go up, as prices go up on transportation, problems persist. We see now with the continued unrest in Ukraine and all that uncertainty, we see oil prices now starting to go up as a reflection of that unrest. Again, that adds to transportation costs, and we, as importers, we experience all of that. Meanwhile, in Abaco, where prices are even higher on goods in some instances because of the added cost of shipping from Nassau to that island, prices have already increased 40%. according to Abaco's Chamber of Commerce President Ken Hutton. Halkida says it's hoped that the underlying causes of global inflation abate in the coming weeks as the government prepares to present the country's budget for 2022-2023. All right, so let's talk about it. Chester, I don't know if it was said when they're going to meet. No. And do we have any idea really what difference it can make?
I don't know. I mean, some of the things that the retailers have been talking about since last year that people are probably noticing that they have done is to replace some of the products that they used to bring in with other things.
Right.
I've seen some, I don't want to call them strange, but foreign things on the shelf.
Some unusual brands.
Yeah. And I think so, some things that they weren't normally buying on the international market, maybe because they hadn't even, now they have to go out and find things, to try and lessen the burden on their consumers.
Yeah. And sometimes it's good. I've discovered some brands here that were never here before or not consistently, and I'm seeing them now. I'm like, well, I hope this will continue to be available. But in most cases, it's the ones we have really grown to appreciate and love that have disappeared, and that's unfortunate. Yeah. Let's get your views on it, folks. What difference will that make, and is it more up to the government to impact what we're seeing here, what we're feeling as consumers, or can the wholesalers really do anything? We're hearing from them. We're hearing from the major retailers that their hands are tied. This is what they're dealing with, how their costs have all gone up. What could you really be asking the wholesalers to do? Is it more of what you just said, Chester? Bring in some other generic or unfamiliar brands and hopefully at a better cost. Is that what we're saying, or what? What can they do? Let's talk about it. Let's get your views on it, folks. Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. We talked about this briefly last week after a show we did where in the U.S. Congress people are trying
releasing some taxes from
and trying to get the government there in the U.S. to at least for a year take off the gas tax to help reduce the cost of fuel. That's a proposal. Will it happen? We don't know, but that'd be an option here, and other things like that. Alleviate, just at least temporarily, perhaps some duties. Of course, that's going to affect, as you mentioned last week when we talked about it, the bottom line for the government, and they have their targets in store. But can they take a hit for maybe just a year until things stabilize? Is that a possibility? Is that on the table?
That's the question. That's the where they have to move the magic numbers around.
Yeah.
And see where they could alleviate some of the pressure on the retailers.
And do we know if that is being considered?
No, we don't.
Perhaps we'll see when the budget communication with the mid-year, maybe they will reveal some of that discussion if they've been having those discussions. So let's see. Again, 323-6232, 325-4316, 3259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right. So that's happening. Also, we are hearing from the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Chester Cooper, that we're in talks with Saudi Arabia, trying to see if there are opportunities there, and that the country has been invited to Saudi Arabia to experience its developments and the aggressive plans that government has for investment, and whether that can be a blueprint for the Bahamas. Let's get your views on that as well, folks. What do you make of that? Again, you know the numbers to call in and text us, 422-4796.
What was interesting about that is earlier yesterday, the Chamber of Commerce and the Ministry of Economic Affairs had a webinar on whether the Bahamas should accede to a Colombia trade agreement. And, the experts from the Ministry of Economic Affairs were at some point, really like, do we need to focus on trade with Central and South America versus, where other parts of the world are looking over to the Middle East and in those regions. I don't know why it seems like it was an either or scenario and not a why can't it be both? But where do we turn our increase in trade to? Seems to be a big discussion now.
Yeah. This person is asking, why are we reluctant to trade with our neighbors south of us, I guess, Dominican Republic and South America?
That's the question, right? So according to that meeting, our trade with Colombia was only around $1 million. It was between $1 million and $3 million, something of that nature. Most of the trade with Colombia is Colombia doing investment projects in the Bahamas. The trade agreement with Colombia is a part of a CARICOM deal, right? The Bahamas hasn't signed on to it. But the biggest exports from Caribbean countries to Colombia is in the fossil fuel area, which obviously we have none of. And their biggest trade partner then with this deal is Trinidad. So the question is, what do we have to offer people in that region, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Boy, this is an interesting time, very interesting time here. And again, in the business section, there's more on that UNDP report about the impact of Dorian and COVID on MSMEs, especially in Abaco and Grand Bahama. And just a bleak picture there. 63% of the companies saying they were adversely affected by Dorian and COVID. I mean, I think that number would be higher, but sure. And a lot of work needs to be done. So much to be done, definitely.
Yeah, we need some trade agreements, or some mechanisms to make export from this country less expensive, as well. As we talked about avocados earlier, and it's not a bad idea, right? Starting an avocado farm and trying to break into the market. I'm sure there's always a market somewhere for avocados that you could break into, if you had the supply size, right? But yeah, why not try it? But then there are other things that need to be done to help to make that successful. Yeah, we talk about the government. The government does need to do some things. You got to get started. You find your sources to export to, and then get with the government and say, look, this is my barrier to trade. This is super expensive. There's something you can do about it, and help me out.
Yeah. While all this is happening, gas prices going up. In today's gas tracker, we see it. They were hovering around $5 just a couple of days ago, or just under $5 in at least one case, but they're all well over $5 today, ranging from the lowest at $5.09 up to 5.37 cents.
Oh, wait, well, what? What? Who is $5.37?
Well, you want me to say who it is? But one of them is at 5.37, and you know what that means. That soon they'll all be near there. And as we creep
5.37?
5.37. As we creep dangerously close up to $6, as was warned about. Something has to be done. Something has to be done. Will the government consider that even? Is that even on the table? To do one of those things, either the VAT or the gas tax. Is it possible? What would be the ramifications if they didn't? If they did, well, we know it if they didn't, but if they did, what would happen there? Could it be done at least temporarily till the end of the year? Something. What are we looking at?
And
Yeah.
wow.
Let's hear what you have to say, folks. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. Hello, can you hear me, Dwight?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hardly hear you, though. You seem to be low on that side. Anyway, Sparky, but I just listened to your co-host a little while ago mention the avocado production and stuff like that. You see, Dwight, some things that happen around here, and I don't know why this continue to happen when governments change. I got some crown land the other day, last year, September, and I got all my documents showing the plot of land, marked out on paper. Everything, and I was told, I signed, I have my share of the documents at home. I was told that agriculture's responsibility is that they will go out there, they will survey the actual area of all the different plots that they gave out. They would go down there with the tractors and clear down the land and turn over the soil. In the initial stages is to fence in my acreage and then start up my farm. That was supposed to be completed by November the 30th. Of last year. That's what I was told by the inspector. Now to find out we are in February now, I heard that all the clearing down was ceased. They were reviewing everything, and now I'm wondering when are they going to tell us, whoever was given land, that we could go down there and start what we have to do? Because what your host said, your guest said a little while ago, that was the same thing I had in mind to start. Half of the property I was going to do just basically avocados. Where I live in Private States, I got about 5 different breeds of avocados, including a late avocado, what we call the late pear. And these are beautiful Russell pears, keep pears, all kind of different things, growing right in my yard in abundance in Private States. Or move them down there to the property. But now I'm sitting there in February, waiting for them to complete their side of the agreement. It seems like everything will stop. We stop, review, and cancel every time governments take over. And I wish we would stop that. Let's keep the plan, keep going on, because we got to get into agriculture and fishery. We got to feed ourselves. Have a good day.
All right. Hopefully that'll work out for you, Sparky. Thanks a lot.
Again, this is part of the frustration in this country. And he explained it all. Why we don't need to explain it again. You frustrate people out of doing the things that you tell us we need to do to advance the country.
Yeah.
How do you create counterproductivity as the government?
Frustrating, to say the least. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on Morning Glen Business.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
You can hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Chester, you talk about the meeting, what they're supposed to have. Which ministry? That's Al-Qaeda, them or whatever. Supposed to be talking with the shop owners or something like that?
Yeah, Economic Affairs Ministry.
Okay. I hear they plan a trip to go to Dubai to help with farming or us being able to feed ourselves and stuff like that. I know if you go in with them, Chester, I think it'll be a good idea for them
I don't think farming was mentioned at all. No, not farming.
Okay.
I hope they take me with them.
Yeah, but Chester, on a more serious note, right? I hope they be effective, not just wasting money or just traveling, right? And I don't know if all of them have to go, right? And I hope they care the right set of people, right? But I hope times they come back, they be able to help over in the same situation what you said a minister them going to have a meeting about. Now, the shop owners being able to find some different name brands, that's kind of shit good, right? But I don't know if that's the solution. My kind of shit dumb idea is I think this is a good opportunity for us to start manufacturing and canning things and dealing with our things first, like growing our own stuff, like how they going to Dubai, bring some machines, bring some of them people, them experts who know how to farm on a big scale, so we could start, doing something. So because it ain't nothing changed, we still spending over $1 billion buying things to bring important here. We get good land here. We can start growing things. We can start with the animals and different things, then and import our fish more. send it out and make some good money. And can some of these things that we be racing all year, the juju, the timing, the crowd, everything, we need to do that. I believe, to be honest with you, Chester, if you go to the meeting, right? Or you could tell me, Chester, how difficult it is for my New Day government. See, this Prime Minister, I think he's more special than any other Prime Minister we had. And I believe in this government. But this thing with the straight across the board, with the wild the tax with the 10%, I don't know if they believe. I mean, I don't know if I am the stupid one or body. Did we feeling this, man? They need to take it off the medicine, take it off the bread basket items, take it off the insurance. If my caring New Day government just so care about us and feel our pain, and this meeting with the gang up with Al-Qaeda, they can help us by just taking the VAT off of the bread basket items. Help the people. You hear the people crying. Take it back off the medicine. Take it off the insurance. Is it about the greedy and not the needy? Y'all really.
All right. Thank you very much. Interesting points. Let's take this final call, and then we got to wrap things up. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
Just a couple of points I just wanted to make. Anybody that has been a part of any kind of organization or business, just like in your own household, you create a budget, and there are ways that you can cut your budget. Or, if, for instance, if you're going to the grocery store and you only have a limited amount of money, well, then you buy the items that you don't have to have, right? So the same with an organization. If you're doing a budget and money is tight, you cut out the things that are not absolutely necessary. The government has many options of cutting their budget, particularly when it comes to things like, does every single person that has a government car need a government car? I mean, think about how much money the government could save annually just on that. And I said all that to say, I could go on and on and on, but the other part of it is in terms of creating export. Look at what the government has done to help out the brewery. You could buy a Click beer in Publix cheaper than you can buy it here in Nassau. And that is because they don't have taxes on the supplies coming in, nor do they charge taxes for the export. Here, avocados grow beautifully in this country. Some of the best avocados you will ever eat come from Bahamian soil. And if someone wants to do that and export it, I am positive that the government would work with them to help them with the taxes on the supplies coming in to grow those, and supplies and taxes to export them. And so I love his idea. Bahamians can't rely on the government. We have to do our own thing. If you have a passion for growing avocados, go to the government, sit down and say, look, I've got 5 acres of land in Abaco. I want to do an avocado farm. What can you do to help me?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think we need to start preaching that more to our people rather than depending on what the government can do for me.
Exactly.
Have a wonderful day, guys.
Thank you very much.
You too. Thank you.
Appreciate it. We want to just make sure people know, was it Chester's idea as well?
Yeah, that was
Texter, who clearly has a passion for avocados, and that's what we were telling him as well, right? You can't wait for the government to say we're going to all become or get into the avocado business. You've got to do this. And then
I'm just telling you, go for it.
Go for it. Exactly. And you're right. The avocados here are beautiful and perfect, unlike some of the things get in the stores, yeah, absolutely. All right, Chester, that is it for us today. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yep.
See
you next week.
Again next week, and I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great one. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
Wake up, it's a new day.